The basketball addicts are back. Get off me. Don't touch me. Get out of my face. The melee at the Mecca is what we're calling it right now. First off, Meg, I was about to call you Sage. I look at you and I'm like, oh, Sage. What was your reaction? How did you find out, though? Was it Twitter, Instagram, friends?
It was actually Dwayne Watson.
Oh, our producer.
We were in studio watching raps, and
he's actually how I found out, too. I was sitting at home. He's like, yo, you see
He
this?
mentions it, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he tells me and J-Lu, and we're then, on Twitter watching
Josh
it.
Lewenberg.
Yeah, Josh Lewenberg. And I call him that now.
He's going to get roasted for that then.
J-Lu.
He's going to get roasted.
Shout out J-Lu, by the way. You guys all know him.
Out.
But no, I mean, when you watch that video back, I don't know if it's just me, but the funniest thing I find of it is the fact that John McEnroe's like in the background, sort of just chilling, and like John McEnroe's like the bad boy of tennis, and he's watching the bad boy of basketball sort of get like taken on by 12 to 15 security guards, a couple NYPD police officers in attendance. I mean, and then once you see like the whole video from start to finish because you got different angles. Unfortunately, like Charles Oakley was in the wrong. You can't just put your hands on someone just because they tell you to leave.
Yeah. Well, reportedly, the original story was he was yelling at James Dolan, who was seated in front of him at the game. He purchased his own ticket. Charles Oakley claims he did not yell at James Dolan, and they just requested him exit. So what's really happening here?
It all kind of went from funny to sad really quickly.
Right.
Like, we all wanted to laugh because it was like, classic Knicks, more drama at MSG, nothing can go right. Then you kind of see the pieces kind of unfold, and you're like, you know what, this is kind of wrong. And I agree that, like, everyone is on this Free Oak team, and I agree that the Knicks were probably in the wrong for a lot of how they handled it, but you can't push guys, you can't punch people. But you can absolutely buy your own ticket and sit in a game without having been harassed or hassled.
Right.
And that's what's kind of, I think, wrong on the Knicks part. And then they sent out that weirdly shady PR statement that was like,
we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah, like, good luck to
Dan hasn't said anything yet. Dan, you're an old school ball fan.
You guys have it covered right. I mean, I wouldn't want to be that security guy with Oak fighting back.
He's a meme.
But honestly, we've seen the video now, and I don't know what the reason why they wanted to remove him. It's probably an ugly truth, which we'll find out. But the fact of the matter is he started the violence, and there's just no excuse for it. No matter how he was being threatened, he cannot lash out like that, and it's going to cost him. He's going to get in trouble.
There's a lot of history there.
him and Dolan, they don't
like
each other.
Oakley confessed in 2012 that he had been reaching out to different people within the Knicks organization to find out why the son, Dolan Jr., who's now running the franchise, would not communicate with him. He said he openly cried, pleading to become part of the organization again. Who knows how this plays out? It will be a very interesting week in New York. But here's the question. If you're a basketball player, because they're looking to attract some players, whether it be through a trade or they've got some money now in free agency this coming summer, how attractive of a destination is New York City? They got Porzingis.
I think it's a disaster for so many reasons. One, because all your stuff's going to get played out through this media, right? And I don't know why you want to put yourself through that as a basketball player. Two, does Phil Jackson know what he's doing? Does he know what he's doing? Trying to ice out Carmelo on Twitter. Carmelo's like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to stay just to bother you. Like, I don't think that's a good place for any player to foster his career and kind of grow as a player. It's not attractive, and they're just not good.
The whole thing's an abysmal disaster. Yes, they have some talent. Porzingis is a nice young player. I don't know if he's good enough that you build a franchise around him like a LeBron kind of player.
He's ready.
Yeah, he's a very nice player. There's no doubt about it. He's not an NBA All-Star at this point.
He will be. Don't doubt my guy Porzingis.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, not if he gets stuck in New York and he gets stuck in this losing situation year after year after year. And it is sad as a basketball fan to see how the Knicks have just they've done it to themselves and they've been left behind by the league.
They broke Porzingis in like a year. He was so happy and affable last year. Now he's just like, blah, blah, blah. He's broken. They broke Porzingis.
To answer your question, I don't see how any player
Right.
would choose to go play for the Knicks right now. It's just
unless it's
ugly.
money.
Ugly.
Only money.
Well, but that's anywhere.
Yeah.
Who needs to escape New York City more? Phil Jackson or Carmelo Anthony?
Phil.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Phil?
Need for who? Who needs? For the team or for those individuals?
Those individuals.
That's
Or
a good question.
we'll flip the question on its head. First approach it as a team and then approach it as an individual. The team needs to get rid of who first, Carmelo or Phil?
I still think Phil.
It's still a tough question.
I personally still think Phil, just because I'm a huge Phil Jackson fan as a coach.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson as a coach, if they brought him in as a coach, that's a different story because they're probably not in the situation they are right now. Phil Jackson, the front office, trying to make things happen. His resume he's been there for 2 years and it's a dumpster fire.
An expensive dumpster
A
Yeah,
fire.
very expensive dumpster
exactly.
fire. And I mean, the one thing that is in Melo's favor is the fact that he has a no trade clause. So who's going to get pushed out first? Most likely Phil Jackson.
trying to get
and
rid of
right now,
Carmelo.
it's literally like a chess match between Melo and Jackson. Who's going to make it more toxic to push the other one out? And I think Melo's going to win this.
Dan?
That said, I don't think Carmelo helps that team on the floor in any way, shape, or form. He's a ball hog. He doesn't play defense. He doesn't help his teammates get better. He's just a scorer and a shooter. He really isn't this complete basketball player. And you look at Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, who are his contemporaries, when
Right.
we look at it realistically, he really has not done anything to impact winning on any team he's been on in his career.
Except for that early Denver team.
There was a Denver team that got to a West Finals, got killed by the Lakers, never heard from again. And I just, the Knicks would be better off getting rid of that guy and starting a youth movement.
I
agree.
think it works to their favor to keep him right now. From
Who?
what we've
Which
seen,
one?
Melo.
Melo?
From what
On
we've
the
seen,
court?
From what we've seen from Porzingis, because he hasn't been, he
I
doesn't
just
right
think
now
you
look
give
to
him
me
the
that
ball
he's,
and let him
that
make
he's
his
ready to
mistakes.
go.
I think you let him.
I'm
And
with
he
I'm with
he
Faizal
takes-
on this one.
He takes a lot of the heat off of Porzingis when he plays
I get that.
bad.
I get that.
does, yes.
I get that.
I
because
don't
in
know
New
if
York, you want
Porzingis
that.
is ready to
Guys, we
handle
still have
that.
more to talk about. Still have more to talk about.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
whole third quarter coming up. Quickly, I want to say this, though. Crazy how we're not talking about Derrick Rose anymore, eh? That's no one even remembers Derrick Rose plays for the Knicks. All right. Got to go to the third quarter, but before we do that, we usually do something called Sweets' Sour Play of the Week. That is our producer, Dwayne Sweets Watson. This week is, oh, look at the graphic. Oh, the graphic has been made. But this time it's not a play. It's a quote. The Knicks went on Twitter and basically assaulted Charles Oakley. And they said he was a great Knick, and we hope he gets some help soon. Shots fired. Is that a good move by the Knicks?
No, that's terrible.
Disrespect, as Sherman would say.
Look, they just lose more credibility every
We'll
single
argue
day.
during the break. Hangouts!